So what I'm going to do now is, this is sesame seeds. Sesame seeds are a really good source of omega-3s. I should know more what they're good source of. But I love the flavour of the roast soya sesame seeds, so I just put it on the top side before I turn them. That way that they just get roasted nicely when you take them out, and they give that extra flavour to it. You can hear the pressure cooker now. It's just coming up to its sizzle, so it's cooking. And then you think, so you've got your vegetables cooked, these are on cooking, set the table, get everything ready. Now this recipe I would like to teach you now is really a foundation recipe again for vegetarians. This is a quick tomato tasty paste. You can see this here. You'll use this for bases for pizzas. You can put it on top of savouries that aren't quite as good as you like, and no one will think twice to use it for your pastas. But because it's so flavoursome, you don't need to use the cheese, and the cheese is the bad part that we don't really want to use in the cooking. So this is what we're going to make now. But I smell this needs to change colour. Okay, this looks like it needs cooking. You see how brown? Nothing's happened. You don't need to put any breadcrumbs or flour on these at all. So it's probably a good recipe if you have friends who are have celiac. A lot of them can tolerate oats to a certain degree, so there's no flour whatsoever in this, and it's a good savoury. So they're nice and brown. We've got the sesame seeds. Sometimes you can just add a little bit of oil if you want to. Just remember, it's got to be tasty. Vegetarian's got to be tasty. You don't want it just to be bland. So this is our oats now, and you can see what they look like. And you know, people know that sesame seeds, what flavour to expect, and they think, I don't even put greaseproof paper because there's so little olive oil in it, and I only use olive oil because it's the healthiest oil that I know of. Now, just put a little bit more olive oil in, and we're going to put the ones with the peanuts in this time. So just drop that into the oil again. I tend to go a little bit big rather than small, because if you do big, you only need one or two, and I get them in and out the saucepan quicker. Back to our onion. So I'll wrap the onion. I'll get that onion at the...
So you're chopping them?
So what I do is I dice the onions first, and you can see all the onions there. So I'm doing two, but you probably don't need to. With this onion, this is only two ingredients in this recipe, and that is caramelized onion, and that's two big ones, with, well, I should say three ingredients because I use olive oil as well. So you put the onion in a frying pan, and as soon as those soybeans are finished, I'm going to use that element, and we put that with a bit of olive oil. Again, the olive oil. You need more olive oil than less because it's going to caramelize, and when the onion is cooked, it becomes sweet once it's caramelized, and that will make your tomato puree very sweet. So this takes a little bit longer, and you use a little bit more olive oil, but it's really worth the effort. While we're waiting for the other, I'm going to show you how to make this really quick microwavable meatloaf, vegetarian meatloaf. This is one you'll use gluten flour for. So you can see this one I made yesterday, but it's still good in the fridge. You can use it in your bolognese and your pastas, or you can just fry it in the frying pan the next day. And that will be made in a ring, this ring here, I'm going to show you in a minute. And this is the straight tomato puree that you buy from the generic brands that you buy from the supermarkets. We're going to use with the caramelized onions. So for this recipe here now, I just take this bowl, bigger bowl. You can see that these are my peanut ones cooking nicely, but do you see my pressure cooker? My pressure cooker is ready to be turned off now, so that was probably no more than 5 minutes, and that's my soybeans cooked. So I will turn the soybeans off and just let them sit. And then these ones, they're not quite cooked, so I'll turn them over and leave them. And we'll go back to our meatloaf now. For the meatloaf, we're going to dice up one large onion. And we're going to put in the flavours that we prefer again. For me, I'll put in some celery and I'll put in some garlic diced up as well. You can use your machine that I was using before if you want to, but these ones you will actually see the pieces in the meatloaf. If you look closely here, you can see little bits of onion. Again, onion is something that I always use in my vegetarian cooking along with garlic. They're two ingredients that foundational. Once you have the garlic, the onion and the garlic done, then again you can use your flavours that you prefer. At this stage you can put soy sauce, you can put in... Now that will sit there and cook slowly while I'm cooking the other things. So it'll probably take 10 minutes to cook the onions to caramelise them. But that's all that we do. We just put them in the bowl with the tomato and bar mix it, and that's the puree. So it's important to let those onions cook slowly and caramelise to get that sweet flavour out. So this is the one with the peanuts. You can see what they look like, and you can't really tell them till you eat them. And that's the one without the peanuts. And in a minute we'll try my students, see what they think. So this is our next recipe. It's our meatloaf recipe that I've demonstrated here. I've got one diced onion and 2 little cloves of garlic diced in there. To that now we want to add our water. So for me who never measures, I'm measuring everything today so that you can do it. 2, 3. So I'm using 3 cups of water in there, and I will use half a cup of oil. Now you mustn't skip on the oil. The oil is important to help emulsify it so that it's a nice texture. So you can see how much oil I've got, half a cup of olive oil. And then into this mixture now we're going to add the flavours. Usually when you think of gluten roast, you're thinking of lots of filling and lots of time. But this one is quick, I guarantee. 18 minutes in the microwave and it will be served on the table. This is soy sauce. I'll add the soy sauce. How much? Oh, it was half of that little container, so 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons. Okay, so I've got some herbs. And I usually just put a sprinkling in, but for the girls, I've got a spoonful of herbs. And then to this you can add your flavours again, which is your chicken-like stock. And I will put 1 spoonful of that in to give it flavour as well. You can add your nutritional yeast. You can add your Promite, your Vegemite, any of the savoury yeasts. Okay, take your egg whisk and whisk it till it's all mixed really good. So the oil's in there. And this is actually breadcrumbs. So I'm going to put probably 2 tablespoons of breadcrumbs. Usually I put half a couple of cups, it depends what I feel like. Today I'm just going to add a little bit of everything I have on the shelf back here. So I will take some rye flour. I'll put a spoon of rye flour. A spoon of crushed linseed, a spoonful of crushed linseed, a spoonful of corn flour, a spoonful of wheat germ, a spoonful of oats, a spoonful of soya flour. I use all these flours in bread and pastry, so I always keep them on the top of the counter so I can access them. And the last ingredient that I'm adding to this now is my gluten flour. Now because you are all watching, I should use a cup, but really I can't tell you because gluten flours and everything will change. Well, let me see if I can use a cup for you.